Welcome back, everybody. We are continuing our review of solving systems. So this is 3.5 part B on solving by elimination. So what is elimination? Elimination is when we eliminate or get rid of something by making it equal to 0. Our goal using this method is to make sure that when we add our equations together, one of the variables will add to 0 so we can solve for the remaining variable. The steps. We have to make sure both equations line up. The x is over the x, the y is over the y, equal sign over equal sign, and constant over constant. Check to make sure that one of the variables has opposite coefficients. One is positive and one is negative, both the same number. That right there is the key. If not, then we need to decide what we're going to multiply by in order to make this the case. You can multiply one equation or both equations. Once we've done that, add the two equations together. One of your variables should add to 0. Solve for that remaining variable. Write the answer you found in ordered pair form, x, y, with parentheses around it. Remember, we still have those special solutions of true statements having infinitely many, and false statements or untrue statements are parallel lines that will have no solution. All right, let's try this. Starting with practice part, the first one. I'm looking here, and this is a positive 2y and a negative 2y. When I add the equations together, those will add to 0. So I don't need to do anything fancy. My x's are in one row, my y's are in a row, my constants are in a row, and my equal signs are together. So I can go ahead and add these. 6x plus 5x is 11x. These add to 0. 9 plus 2 is 11. Divide both sides by 11 to get x alone, and we get x is equal to 1. So that's the first part of our answer. Now I'm going to take this one, and I can pick either the top equation or the bottom equation. It doesn't matter, to plug it in for x to find y. I'm going to pick the top equation. So 6 times 1 plus 2y is equal to 9. 6 times 1 is 6. Subtract 6. 2y is equal to 3. Divide both sides by 2. And our y value is 3/2. So the solution to this system is 1 3/2. All right, letter B. Let's see. Our y's are lined up, our x's are lined up, our equal sign are lined up, and our constants are lined up. So that's good. But my y's and my x's, I don't have the exact same value in opposite signs. So we can choose to get rid of either x or y. I'm going to pick y. And in order to get rid of y, if this is positive 6y, I want this to be negative 6y, which means I'm multiplying by negative 2. Now remember, if you're doing the multiplying, you have to multiply every single part of that equation. So the top one we're leaving alone. And then the bottom one, we get negative 6y plus 6x equals negative 20. Now when I add these together, 6y plus negative 6y adds to 0. Negative 2x plus 6x is 4x. And 6 plus negative 20 is negative 14. I'm going to divide by 4. We end up with x is equal to negative 14 fourths. Remember, that's a fraction, so we need to make sure that we reduce it. And that means it's going to be negative 7 halves. Now, I know we don't like fractions, but remember, that's okay. We've got help for that. So let's go ahead and leave it as negative 7 halves. And I'm going to plug it into my top equation to solve for y. So 6y minus 2 times negative 7 halves is equal to 6. And the reason why I did this is because I can make that 2 over 1 on the outside. And my 2's reduce out. So I have negative 1 times negative 7, which is positive 7. Subtract 7 to the other side. And we get 6y equals negative 1. Divide by 6. And our y value is negative 1/6. This is the solution to our system. Letter C. So I'm checking this out and I'm looking here. Those aren't lined up. I need x's with x's and y's with y's. So I'm going to take that bottom equation and flip around the 3x and the 4y. Now remember, I'm not going over an equal sign, so I'm not changing their signs. I'm just changing the place that they're written. That was a positive 3x and a positive 4y, and they're staying the exact same. All right, so now they're all lined up. And then I'm looking, if I add these together, I'm not going to get anything to add to 0. I think I'm going to change this y to a 4, because then that would be negative 4y to add with this positive 4y and get me that 0 that I need. So I would have to multiply by 2 to make that happen. So that gives me 10x minus 4y is equal to negative 4 on the top. The bottom, we're not changing at all. 10x plus 3x is 13x. These add to 0. Negative 4 plus negative 22 is negative 26. Divide both sides by 13. And we get x is equal to negative 2. So that is the x value of our ordered pair. Now I want to get the y value. And I can go back into either one of those original equations and plug in my x. Let's go with the bottom one to be different this time. So 4y plus 3 times negative 2 is negative 22. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. So I'm going to add 6 and get 4y is negative 16. Divide by 4, and y is negative 4. And that's the solution. All right, everybody, thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow.